Colonel Marcus Evans watched calmly from the shadowed veranda of his secluded farmhouse as the convoy of Black Lives Matter activists approached down the dusty dirt road, a cloud of dust trailing behind their vehicles. He'd received intelligence days earlier, activists labeling his property as abandoned and unproductive, mistakenly assuming no resistance. Marcus, a retired Army colonel with decades of strategic and combat experience, observed their movements closely. From his vantage point, he saw them park near the gates, emerging with confidence, quickly unfurling banners and raising fists, their chants disrupting the previously peaceful countryside air. The group's charismatic leader, Jasmine, shouted defiantly, "This land belongs to justice now." Cheers erupted from the group as they quickly began occupying the empty barns and the main house, unaware they were being closely monitored. Hidden discreetly behind the porch railing, a small radio transmitter softly crackled to life. Marcus remained motionless, eyes narrowed, quietly observing each move. He'd prepared carefully, every action meticulously planned. He didn't panic or rush, he waited. As darkness settled over the farm, activists celebrated, lighting bonfires and playing loud music, emboldened by their apparent victory. Unbeknownst to them, Colonel Evans had already activated his concealed speaker system strategically placed around the property. He leaned slowly toward the microphone, his voice calm yet authoritative. "You've made a grave mistake." His deep voice echoed through hidden speakers, slicing through their celebration. An abrupt, startled silence enveloped the activists. They scanned the area nervously, searching for the source of the voice. Evans continued calmly, clearly, firmly. "This property is private. You have one opportunity to leave peacefully. Ignore this warning, and you'll discover who I really am." A murmur spread among the activists, some uneasy, others dismissive. Jasmine attempted to rally confidence among her group. "He's just bluffing, trying to intimidate us," she assured her companions. But Marcus Evans wasn't bluffing. As the clock neared midnight, Jasmine noticed Daniel, one of her key allies, missing. She called his name, but only silence answered her. Moments later, Sandra disappeared, intensifying the growing unease. Fear began to ripple visibly among the activists. Then, suddenly, a sharp cry shattered the uneasy quiet. A member of the group had triggered one of Evans' carefully hidden wooden traps, severely injuring his ankle. Panic ensued as Jasmine desperately called out on their radios. "Who's outside the camp? Answer me now." Only static responded. Evans' voice returned, colder and more decisive, filling every heart with dread. "I warned you, Jasmine. Now, it's my turn." The lights around the camp flickered off simultaneously, plunging the group into darkness. Jasmine felt her pulse quicken, realizing the magnitude of their miscalculation. The situation had spiraled completely beyond her control. Marcus quietly observed from the darkness, slowly closing the distance between himself and Jasmine, whose leadership had brought the activists onto his property. They had underestimated him gravely, mistaking his silence for weakness. Marcus stepped out into a clearing, his voice now close, chilling, and authoritative. "You chose to invade my home. You chose this confrontation. Now face the consequences." Jasmine froze, heart pounding, fear now evident in her eyes. Marcus Evans wasn't just any farmer. He was a seasoned military strategist, trained specifically for situations like this. As dawn approached, the farm was eerily silent again, the camp abandoned hastily, only footprints marking the frantic retreat of the activists. Marcus stood once more on his porch, sipping coffee as the first rays of sunlight illuminated his reclaimed land. The first battle was won, but Marcus knew this struggle was far from over. Hit the subscribe button right now to stay tuned for more. Drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments. We'd love to give you a special shout out in our next video. Join our community and be part of the journey. Colonel Marcus Evans stood quietly on his porch, watching the early morning sunlight stretch gently across his reclaimed farm. His eyes moved methodically over the grounds, meticulously assessing the aftermath of the night's conflict. The activists had retreated, but Marcus knew better than to assume the threat was completely over. After sipping the last of his coffee, he carefully set the cup down and moved toward the barns, examining the scattered remnants of banners and hastily abandoned belongings. He walked slowly, deliberately, the calm precision of his movements echoing years of military discipline. His radio buzzed softly, interrupting the morning silence. Marcus raised it to his lips without breaking stride. "Evans here. Go ahead," he spoke evenly. A deep voice crackled back through the static. "Colonel, we've tracked the group's movements. They're regrouping just beyond the tree line. Looks like they're preparing for another move." Marcus exhaled slowly, eyes narrowing slightly as he calculated his next steps. He had hoped the activists would take his warning seriously and leave peacefully, but their persistence required him to adjust his approach. "Maintain surveillance," Marcus responded calmly. "Report any significant developments immediately." "Understood," came the brief acknowledgement. Marcus continued toward his barn, his mind efficiently crafting new strategies. As he surveyed his supplies and equipment stored neatly inside, memories of past missions surged back, sharpening his senses further. This was no different. Another adversary, another battle, another test of resolve. He meticulously prepared traps along key access points, carefully choosing spots that would minimize harm but maximize deterrent impact. Marcus had no interest in unnecessary violence. His goal remained clear: protect his land and uphold order, sending a clear message to those who challenged him. By midday, he received another transmission. "Colonel, they're approaching again, smaller numbers this time, moving carefully. Likely reconnaissance."
Acknowledged.
"Stay hidden. I'll handle this personally," Marcus instructed firmly, his voice unwavering. Minutes later, concealed expertly within dense foliage, Marcus observed Jasmine and Marcus cautiously navigating toward the farmhouse perimeter. Their cautious movements signaled awareness of potential danger, exactly as Marcus had anticipated. He quietly maneuvered himself closer, maintaining a calculated distance. Jasmine paused briefly, scanning their surroundings with wary eyes. Marcus felt a brief pang of admiration for her determination, but quickly pushed the sentiment aside. His mission demanded objectivity and focus. When the pair reached a point dangerously close to one of his traps, Marcus deliberately revealed himself, stepping calmly from cover. "This is far enough," he declared clearly, startling them both into immediate defensive stances. "You're risking more than you realize." Jasmine stared back defiantly, clearly shaken but determined. "We aren't leaving. Not until our voices are heard." Marcus met her gaze steadily, allowing his presence alone to reinforce his words. "You underestimate the situation. This isn't a game or a peaceful demonstration anymore. You've crossed a line." Marcus, Jasmine's companion, stepped forward protectively, tension evident in his posture. "We're fighting for justice. You're standing in the way." Marcus responded evenly, his tone controlled but firm. "You're fighting the wrong battle, against the wrong adversary. I have no quarrel with your beliefs, only your methods." Silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken challenge and tension. Marcus broke it decisively. "Return to your group. Tell them it's over. Next time, I won't issue warnings." Without waiting for their response, Marcus turned deliberately, disappearing swiftly back into the shadows, leaving them visibly shaken and uncertain. Returning to the farmhouse, Marcus prepared carefully for the inevitable escalation. His years of experience had taught him the importance of readiness, resilience, and calm authority. As nightfall approached once more, Marcus stood prepared, vigilant, and resolute. The activists had made their choice, and so had he. The boundaries had been drawn clearly. This was his land, his rules, and his fight. The stage was set for what he knew would be a decisive confrontation. Colonel Marcus Evans stood vigilant as the evening shadows lengthened across his farm, the stillness of the approaching night amplifying his heightened senses. His confrontation with Jasmine earlier had left him certain of one thing: the activists were determined, unwilling to concede defeat so easily. He knew tonight would be pivotal. After checking his surveillance equipment carefully, Marcus took his position in a secluded spot, carefully concealed behind a dense cluster of trees overlooking the property's main entrance. His breathing was steady, pulse calm, every sense attuned to the slightest movement or sound. Just after midnight, faint sounds drifted toward him through the darkness, soft footsteps, hushed voices. The activists had returned, exactly as he predicted. He silently noted their number, movements, and formation, carefully calculating his next move. From his hidden vantage point, Marcus observed Jasmine leading her group forward cautiously, clearly attempting stealth. Their earlier bravado had given way to more measured caution, a sign they respected his previous warnings, if not his authority. As they approached closer, Marcus activated a carefully prepared series of floodlights, illuminating the intruders instantly. The activists froze, startled, shielding their eyes against the sudden glare. Marcus' voice resonated clearly through his hidden loudspeakers, calm but stern. "This is your final warning. You're trespassing on private property. Turn back now, or I'll be forced to respond." Jasmine stepped forward defiantly, raising her voice to challenge his authority. "We won't back down, Colonel. This is about justice, about standing up to oppression." Marcus paused briefly, considering her words carefully before responding. "There's no justice in violating someone's property. Your ideals don't excuse your actions." Marcus could see the tension rippling through the activists, uncertainty growing within their ranks. Jasmine seemed determined, but others visibly wavered under the intensity of the situation. In that moment of hesitation, Marcus triggered another of his carefully planned deterrents, a loud siren piercing the air, causing instant disarray and panic among the activists. Some scrambled back toward the woods, while Jasmine and a few others remained defiant. Marcus stepped from his concealment calmly, weapon held loosely but confidently at his side, clearly visible but non-threatening. "It's over, Jasmine. Your group is scattered, your morale broken. Leave peacefully while you still can." Jasmine squared her shoulders stubbornly, eyes blazing with determination. "We came here for a reason. You won't intimidate us into silence." Marcus regarded her quietly, understanding the passion behind her defiance. Yet, his duty remained clear, protecting his land, enforcing his rules, and maintaining order. "I'm not trying to silence you," Marcus responded firmly, his voice measured but compassionate. "But there's a right way and a wrong way to make your voice heard." The tension hung heavy between them, each side unwilling to yield easily. After a long pause, Jasmine finally stepped back reluctantly, signaling her remaining followers to retreat. Marcus stood his ground, watching silently as they faded back into the night, leaving behind a heavy quietness and lingering uncertainty. Back inside his farmhouse, Marcus reflected carefully, recognizing this conflict was deeper than property or pride. It symbolized a clash of values, ideologies, and generations. Though he'd won this night, Marcus knew this struggle was far from concluded. He walked back onto his porch, looking out into the peaceful darkness, once more. Despite his victory tonight, he felt a weight of responsibility, knowing his actions would ripple far beyond this moment, affecting perceptions, beliefs, and futures. With a sigh, he turned slowly back inside, preparing himself mentally for whatever tomorrow might bring, aware the battle of ideologies had only just begun. Dawn arrived quietly at Colonel Marcus Evans' farm, its gentle light revealing the night's tense aftermath. Marcus sat alone on his porch, deep in thought, his mind analyzing every detail of the recent confrontation. While he'd successfully repelled Jasmine and her group's second attempt, he knew this was far from over. As Marcus sipped his morning coffee, his radio crackled again. "Colonel Evans, we have intel suggesting increased activity online. Jasmine's group is rallying support. Expect more eyes on this soon." "Acknowledged," Marcus replied calmly, absorbing the information thoughtfully. He had anticipated the activists would seek external support. In many ways, this battle had shifted from physical confrontation to one of perception and public opinion. Deciding swiftly, Marcus rose and returned to his home office, activating his computer and carefully scanning various social media platforms. Jasmine's video footage from their earlier encounter had gone viral, portraying Evans as an aggressor rather than a defender of his property. Anger stirred within him, tempered only by his disciplined self-control. He knew that responding with raw emotion or defensiveness would play directly into their narrative. Marcus took a deep breath, formulating a calculated approach instead. He recorded a brief, measured message, clearly outlining his stance and calmly stating the facts of their encounters. "My name is Colonel Marcus Evans. I am the owner of the property in question. Contrary to recent accusations, my actions have solely been defensive, responding to repeated and illegal invasions of my private property. My intent is simple: to uphold my rights and protect my land." He uploaded the message and quickly saw responses flooding in. Some were supportive, echoing his stance on private property and personal rights. Others criticized him sharply, accusing him of oppression and misuse of force. Marcus closed his laptop, leaning back heavily in his chair. The digital battlefield was new terrain for him, challenging him in ways physical confrontations never had. He knew this struggle was becoming about more than property or politics. It was about narrative, identity, and values. Suddenly, Marcus' attention was drawn by movement outside. Alertness surged instantly, bringing him swiftly back to his feet. He moved quietly toward the window, eyes narrowing sharply as he observed a small group approaching, Jasmine among them, accompanied by several individuals he hadn't seen before. He stepped outside, standing firm on his porch, watching them cautiously approach. Jasmine stopped a respectful distance away, her posture wary yet determined. "Colonel Evans," she began evenly, clearly striving to maintain composure. "We need to talk." Marcus studied her quietly, assessing the sincerity behind her words. "I'm listening," he responded calmly, betraying no emotion. "This situation has escalated beyond either of our intentions," Jasmine admitted carefully, choosing her words thoughtfully. "We never meant to harm or threaten you, but we can't back down from our cause either." Marcus considered her words, appreciating the honesty. "Then what do you suggest?" he questioned neutrally, willing to hear her out but not conceding ground. "Dialogue," Jasmine proposed firmly, visibly sincere. "We want to find a solution that acknowledges your rights but also our need to be heard." Marcus paused thoughtfully, recognizing an opportunity, albeit challenging, to steer this confrontation toward resolution rather than ongoing conflict. "I'm open to conversation," Marcus conceded carefully, provided it's clear that trespassing and threats won't be tolerated. Jasmine nodded, her expression cautiously hopeful. "Agreed." Both sides stood silently for a moment, tension gradually easing into cautious optimism. Marcus knew that real resolution would require compromise, understanding, and patience, qualities he'd honed over a lifetime of disciplined service. As Jasmine and her companions withdrew respectfully, Marcus returned inside, his mind busy weighing new possibilities and strategies. He recognized clearly that this conflict had entered a new, potentially productive stage. Sitting once more at his desk, Marcus understood this wasn't about winning or losing. It was about finding common ground in an increasingly polarized world. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with complexity, yet Marcus felt more prepared than ever. He had always thrived under pressure, and this was a battle he intended to handle with wisdom, dignity, and strength. Enjoying the story? Make sure to hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss the next thrilling chapter. Comment below with your name and location. We'd love to give you a special shout out in our next video. Subscribe now and become part of the community. Colonel Marcus Evans sat at his kitchen table, methodically planning the meeting with Jasmine and her representatives scheduled for later that day. He understood clearly the significance of this moment, not just for his farm, but for a wider community watching closely. With precision, Marcus drafted detailed notes outlining clear boundaries and potential compromises. Despite his firm beliefs, he knew flexibility would be crucial for meaningful dialogue. Still, the principles guiding his stance remained unwavering: private property, lawful order, and mutual respect. When the hour finally arrived, Marcus stepped confidently outside, meeting Jasmine and a small group gathered near his front gate. He approached them with deliberate calmness, projecting authority tempered by respect. "Thank you for agreeing to speak with us." Jasmine began sincerely, her voice steady, but filled with cautious optimism. Marcus acknowledged her words with a careful nod. Dialogue is always preferable to conflict. Let's find common ground. They moved together to a neutral spot beneath the shade of a large oak tree, the atmosphere tense yet hopeful. Jasmine introduced the new faces as community activists and local leaders, all advocating passionately yet respectfully for their cause. "Colonel Evans," Jasmine began carefully, "we recognize your rights and your commitment to your land. Our goal was never to threaten or disrespect that. We aimed only to highlight urgent issues affecting our communities." Marcus listened carefully, appreciating her sincerity. "I understand your intentions," he replied thoughtfully, "but your methods created unnecessary danger and chaos. There must be better ways to achieve your goals." One of Jasmine's associates, a local community leader named Samuel, stepped forward cautiously. "Colonel, we believe peaceful demonstrations and discussions like these can lead to real progress. We regret the escalation." Marcus studied Samuel briefly, noting genuine regret in his eyes. Escalation often results from misunderstandings. Clarifying expectations helps avoid such outcomes. The group discussed various issues for hours: community tensions, property rights, social injustices, each side passionately expressing their perspectives. Marcus maintained composed yet firm, always steering the conversation toward practical solutions rather than ideological disputes. Gradually, mutual understanding replaced suspicion and mistrust. Marcus proposed the activists use a nearby public field for peaceful demonstrations, a compromise offering visibility without infringement on private property rights. Jasmine considered the suggestion carefully, finally nodding. "This could work," she admitted thoughtfully. "It respects both our voices and your concerns." Marcus felt relief, appreciating her willingness to compromise. True progress occurs when respect guides our actions. As evening approached, the meeting concluded positively, each side visibly relieved and cautiously optimistic. Marcus shook Jasmine's hand firmly, acknowledging mutual respect forged through difficult conversations. "Thank you for your willingness to engage constructively," Marcus said sincerely. "Your determination is commendable, even when we disagree." Jasmine smiled slightly, visibly appreciative of his acknowledgement. "We still have differences, Colonel, but we've learned compromise is possible." Marcus watched thoughtfully as Jasmine and her companions departed peacefully, feeling the immense weight of responsibility momentarily lifted. He knew more challenges lay ahead, yet today marked a crucial turning point, one defined by mutual understanding rather than confrontation. Returning home, Marcus reflected deeply on the day's significance, recognizing clearly that true leadership required more than strength or authority. It required empathy, dialogue, and compromise. As he closed the door behind him, Marcus felt quietly confident. The future was uncertain, but today's progress reassured him that respect and reason could bridge even the widest divides. Colonel Marcus Evans rose early the next morning, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Despite the productive dialogue with Jasmine and her associates, Marcus understood the journey toward true resolution was still fraught with complexities and potential setbacks. He began his day methodically, attending first to farm duties he had temporarily set aside during recent events. The familiar routine offered a comforting sense of normalcy, allowing him to reflect on recent interactions with clarity and calm. Mid-morning brought an unexpected visitor, Samuel, the community leader he'd met alongside Jasmine. Marcus welcomed him cautiously yet warmly, understanding Samuel represented an important bridge between conflicting perspectives. "Colonel Evans," Samuel greeted respectfully, extending his hand firmly. "I appreciate your openness yesterday. I believe our conversation genuinely helped ease tensions." Marcus shook Samuel's hand, nodding thoughtfully. "Honest conversation often does. How can I help today?" Samuel hesitated briefly, clearly gathering his thoughts carefully before speaking. "There's concern in the community," he began gently. "Some activists still doubt your intentions. Their skeptical compromise can truly occur." Marcus considered Samuel's words carefully. Trust takes time, he acknowledged calmly. But actions speak louder than words. I'm willing to demonstrate my sincerity. Samuel visibly relaxed, appreciating Marcus's candid response. That would help greatly. Perhaps hosting a community event here on your farm, openly inviting dialogue and understanding, could ease those doubts. Marcus contemplated the suggestion seriously, recognizing the potential benefits alongside risks. Finally, he nodded decisively. I'll host this gathering. Dialogue is crucial, and I'm prepared to take that step. Gratitude filled Samuel's expression. This means a lot, Colonel. I'll ensure it's well organized and respectful. Preparations commenced swiftly, with Marcus overseeing logistics closely, ensuring the gathering would convey sincerity and respect. As invitations circulated throughout local communities, both optimism and skepticism spread quickly. On the day of the event, Marcus stood prepared yet anxious, recognizing clearly its significance. Guests arrived steadily, activists, community members, neighbors, all cautiously hopeful yet watchful. Marcus greeted each guest personally, firmly shaking hands, looking them directly in the eyes, and expressing genuine welcome. Jasmine approached cautiously, meeting Marcus's gaze steadily. Thank you for doing this, Jasmine acknowledged sincerely. It means something. Dialogue always means something, Marcus replied evenly. I hope today we all remember our shared humanity. Throughout the day, conversations flourished, initially cautious but gradually growing warmer, more open and sincere. Marcus witnessed barriers slowly dissolving as guests engaged respectfully, sharing experiences, concerns, and hopes openly. When Marcus finally addressed the gathering, he spoke clearly yet humbly, emphasizing shared values, mutual respect, and collective progress. Today shows dialogue and understanding can overcome fear and suspicion, Marcus stated passionately. We don't always need to agree completely, but listening respectfully helps bridge divides. His words resonated deeply, earning respectful applause and appreciative nods. Jasmine, too, spoke eloquently, highlighting courage, persistence, and mutual respect as keys to meaningful change. As the event concluded successfully, Marcus stood quietly, reflecting on the profound importance of the day's interactions. Samuel approached him once more, gratitude evident. This exceeded expectations, Samuel expressed warmly. You've shown genuine leadership and openness. Marcus acknowledged Samuel's words gratefully. Leadership isn't merely about authority or control. It's about fostering trust, empathy, and dialogue. Samuel nodded appreciatively, clearly moved. I genuinely believe we've taken a significant step toward peace today. Marcus watched guests depart, sensing cautious optimism replacing skepticism. The event marked not merely a temporary ceasefire, but a meaningful shift toward deeper understanding. Returning inside afterward, Marcus felt both exhaustion and profound satisfaction. Today had demonstrated clearly that courage wasn't just standing one's ground. True courage required openness, humility, and willingness to engage sincerely. As Marcus settled quietly at his kitchen table, his mind pondered future possibilities and challenges. He recognized clearly the significance of today's progress, understanding deeply that sustaining dialogue required ongoing effort, patience, and humility. Yet Marcus felt confidently optimistic, knowing today's genuine interactions had laid crucial foundations for lasting understanding and mutual respect. In the days following the community gathering, Colonel Marcus Evans felt a profound sense of accomplishment tempered by cautious realism. Though the event had successfully initiated meaningful dialogue, Marcus knew trust required sustained effort and constant nurturing. Early one morning, as he finished his routine chores, Marcus noticed a vehicle approaching slowly along his driveway. Immediately attentive, he recognized Jasmine behind the wheel, accompanied by Samuel. Their unexpected visit signaled urgency, prompting Marcus to meet them halfway. Colonel Evans, Jasmine began directly, urgency evident in her voice. We have a serious problem. What happened? Marcus responded calmly, preparing himself mentally for whatever new complication had arisen. Samuel answered carefully, clearly troubled. There's another group, more radical, who disagrees with our efforts to compromise. They believe negotiation is weakness, and they're planning something disruptive. Marcus absorbed this information silently, evaluating implications swiftly. What kind of disruption? Jasmine hesitated briefly before replying, clearly uneasy. They plan to occupy your farm again, believing it will reignite tension and attract media attention to their cause. Marcus exhaled slowly, frustration briefly flashing across his expression before returning to his usual disciplined composure. And you came to warn me? We came because we believe in what we've built together, Jasmine asserted firmly. Conflict won't help anyone. We must stop them peacefully. Marcus nodded thoughtfully, appreciating their proactive approach and genuine concern. Agreed. Do you have suggestions? Samuel stepped forward confidently. We thought about confronting them directly, openly advocating for dialogue instead of conflict. If you stood alongside us, your presence could greatly strengthen our message. Marcus considered this carefully, recognizing clearly the risks and potential consequences. Yet he also knew decisive, visible leadership was essential for meaningful resolution. Then let's act together. Marcus agreed resolutely. Unity is our strongest message. Preparations were swiftly made, and by early evening, Marcus joined Jasmine, Samuel, and other community leaders, awaiting the radical group's arrival near the entrance of his property. As the activists approached, Marcus observed their confrontational postures and defiant expressions carefully, recognizing clearly their intentions. Jasmine stepped forward courageously, addressing them firmly. We've chosen dialogue and respect, she stated clearly, her voice resonating powerfully. Conflict only divides and weakens us. We urge you to reconsider your methods. Initially resistant, the group's spokesperson challenged defiantly. Your compromises betray our cause. We demand immediate action, not passive conversation. Marcus stepped forward calmly, his presence authoritative yet non-threatening. Real strength lies in understanding and dialogue, not conflict. You seek attention and change, achievable peacefully, without harming our shared community. A tense silence stretched momentarily as activists considered his words carefully. Marcus maintained composed patience, waiting calmly as they debated internally, tensions evident. Finally, visibly conflicted yet reconsidering, their spokesperson nodded reluctantly. We want change, not conflict. If you genuinely support our cause, prove it. Marcus responded decisively. Join us in peaceful dialogue. Together, our message is stronger, clearer, and more powerful than any confrontation. Slowly, reluctantly, tensions began dissipating visibly as activists cautiously agreed to discuss rather than disrupt. Marcus quietly exhaled relief, appreciating deeply the courage and sincerity each side displayed. Hours of passionate yet respectful conversation followed, gradually forging understanding, trust, and compromise. Marcus actively participated, patiently explaining his perspectives, listening openly to their concerns, emphasizing unity, respect, and mutual understanding. By nightfall, tensions were significantly reduced, replaced instead by cautious optimism and mutual respect. Marcus shook hands firmly with each activist individually, recognizing clearly the significance of this powerful breakthrough. You've demonstrated genuine leadership today, Jasmine acknowledged appreciatively afterward, sincere gratitude evident in her voice. This could have ended differently, without your courage. Marcus nodded humbly, reflecting deeply on the day's meaningful progress. Leadership isn't avoiding conflict, he stated thoughtfully. It's resolving conflict constructively, openly, and respectfully. As everyone departed peacefully, Marcus stood quietly, contemplating deeply the day's powerful lessons. Unity, courage, and mutual respect had triumphed, demonstrating clearly the transformative power of genuine dialogue. Returning home quietly, Marcus felt profoundly grateful, understanding clearly his responsibility as a leader extended beyond merely protecting property. It meant fostering dialogue, building trust, and inspiring positive change. He settled comfortably at his table, reflecting deeply on the challenges and successes of recent days. Marcus understood clearly this journey was ongoing, yet today's success reassured him profoundly that unity and dialogue could indeed overcome division. If you were in Colonel Evans' shoes, could you stay calm and choose dialogue even when tensions run high? Let us know in the comments what you would do in his position. If you believe respect and courage can turn conflicts into opportunities, join our community. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any inspiring stories like this one. And if this message touched your heart, leave a like and share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. In the weeks following the community event and peaceful resolution, Colonel Marcus Evans noticed a profound shift, not only on his farm, but within the community itself. Conversations previously marked by suspicion and hostility were now defined by openness, mutual respect, and cautious optimism. Despite these positive developments, Marcus remained vigilant, aware that lasting trust required continuous effort. He decided to solidify this newfound harmony by organizing regular gatherings focused on community dialogue and collaboration. One afternoon, while preparing for an upcoming meeting, Marcus received a visit from Jasmine. Her arrival was relaxed and confident, signaling growing trust between them. They greeted warmly, genuine respect clear in their exchanges. "Colonel Evans," Jasmine began thoughtfully, "I came to discuss something important. Our progress has inspired other communities facing similar conflicts. They're reaching out, seeking guidance on achieving peaceful resolutions." Marcus listened intently, recognizing the profound implications of her words. "That's encouraging. It shows our efforts here have resonated far beyond our initial expectations." "Exactly," Jasmine continued earnestly. "We could amplify our impact by sharing our experiences together." Marcus considered her suggestion seriously, quickly recognizing its potential. "You're proposing we become advocates for dialogue and peaceful conflict resolution?" "Precisely," Jasmine affirmed confidently. "Our combined perspective could inspire positive change elsewhere." Marcus contemplated deeply, understanding clearly the weight of responsibility this role carried. Still, he felt a compelling sense of duty, believing their experiences genuinely offered valuable insights. "Let's do it," Marcus decided decisively, feeling conviction strengthening within him. "Our story matters. It could encourage others toward understanding and unity." With renewed purpose, Marcus and Jasmine quickly began organizing forums and workshops aimed at promoting respectful dialogue, empathy, and peaceful resolution. Invitations quickly spread, attracting diverse participants from surrounding regions facing similar challenges. At their first joint event, Marcus stood confidently alongside Jasmine, addressing a large, attentive audience. Conflict often arises from misunderstanding. Marcus began clearly, his voice resonating powerfully throughout the auditorium. "We discovered firsthand that dialogue and respect hold immense power, not only in resolving disputes, but in forging genuine connections." Jasmine continued eloquently, passionately sharing their experiences, challenges, and insights. The audience listened attentively, visibly inspired and deeply moved by their authentic, compelling narrative. Throughout the event, Marcus engaged openly, answering difficult questions honestly, emphasizing consistently the necessity of empathy, patience, and humility in addressing conflicts. Afterward, Marcus and Jasmine were approached by numerous attendees expressing profound gratitude, many committing to apply these principles within their own communities. Returning home, Marcus felt deeply fulfilled, profoundly understanding the broader impact of their efforts. Jasmine, too, shared his sentiment, clearly recognizing the power of their collaboration. "We made a genuine difference today," Jasmine reflected thoughtfully. "I never imagined our conflict could transform into something this meaningful." Marcus agreed sincerely, his tone reflective yet optimistic. "Real change often begins with small, courageous steps. Our journey proves that dialogue can transcend divisions." In the following weeks, invitations continued pouring in, confirming clearly their message resonated profoundly with broader communities. Marcus approached each new opportunity diligently, consistently advocating respect, understanding, and peaceful dialogue. Gradually, their efforts gained broader recognition, attracting media attention highlighting their transformative journey from conflict to collaboration. Marcus humbly acknowledged the praise, repeatedly emphasizing collective effort rather than personal achievement. As Marcus reflected quietly one evening, he profoundly recognized their journey's significance. Their initial conflict had unexpectedly catalyzed meaningful change, not merely within their community, but extending powerfully beyond, offering hope and guidance to many others facing similar struggles. He settled comfortably into his chair, profoundly grateful, yet humbly aware their work remained ongoing. Dialogue, respect, and empathy required continuous nurturing, yet Marcus felt confident in their growing impact. Their story was far from finished, but the foundations they'd built together provided genuine hope for lasting change. What would you have done if you were Colonel Evans facing such intense conflict? Would you have chosen dialogue or confrontation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe that empathy and respect can truly change lives, join our community by subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell so you won't miss any inspiring stories. And if this story touched you, please leave a like and share it with someone who could benefit from hearing this powerful message today. As Colonel Marcus Evans continued advocating alongside Jasmine, their influence and message of peaceful dialogue expanded far beyond their initial expectations. Yet, despite the positive momentum, Marcus remained cautious, understanding that genuine progress often drew challenges. One evening, Marcus received troubling news. A heated conflict had erupted in a nearby town, mirroring the early tensions he'd faced on his own farm. Immediately concerned, Marcus reached out to Jasmine to strategize their response. "We must intervene quickly," Jasmine insisted urgently during their conversation. "This conflict risks undoing the progress we've made." Marcus agreed decisively. "Let's approach it together. Showing united leadership will emphasize our message's credibility." Arriving swiftly in the troubled town, Marcus and Jasmine were greeted by tense, wary locals. Clearly, trust had fractured here, emotions dangerously volatile. Marcus recognized immediately the urgency of their mission. Standing alongside Jasmine, Marcus spoke firmly yet compassionately to the gathered crowd. "I understand your anger and frustration, but violence and confrontation only deepen wounds. Dialogue and mutual respect offer real, lasting solutions." Jasmine echoed Marcus's sentiments passionately, reinforcing their united commitment to peaceful resolution. "We faced similar conflicts, and through dialogue, we transformed division into unity. You can achieve the same." Despite initial resistance, Marcus's composed yet authoritative presence gradually calmed tensions, inviting open dialogue. Slowly, residents began engaging in respectful conversations, articulating concerns and fears openly, genuinely listening to each other's perspectives. Witnessing this powerful shift, Marcus quietly felt immense pride and gratitude. Their efforts were impacting real lives profoundly, offering genuine hope amidst difficult circumstances. Later, Marcus privately reflected with Jasmine, deeply moved by the community's response. "Today demonstrated clearly our message's power. But sustaining peace requires continued patience, humility, and empathy." "Exactly," Jasmine agreed sincerely. "Real change doesn't happen overnight. It demands ongoing effort and dedication." Motivated by their successful intervention, Marcus and Jasmine continued diligently promoting peaceful resolutions across other conflicted communities. Each experience reinforced their belief in dialogue's transformative power. Yet, amidst these victories, Marcus recognized clearly the importance of staying grounded. He understood deeply the responsibility accompanying leadership, not merely advocating principles, but embodying them authentically. One afternoon, Marcus returned home feeling exhausted yet profoundly fulfilled by their impactful work. Sitting quietly, reflecting deeply on recent events, Marcus's phone suddenly buzzed insistently, pulling him swiftly back to immediate concerns. Answering quickly, Marcus heard Jasmine's urgent voice, anxiety evident. Colonel Evans, we have a serious problem. A prominent figure in our movement publicly condemned our approach as weak, promoting aggressive tactics instead. It's creating division rapidly. Marcus listened intently, quickly assessing implications. Then we must respond decisively, reaffirming our commitment to respectful dialogue. We can't allow division to undermine our progress. Agreed. Jasmine responded determinedly. We need a strong, united message now more than ever. Rapidly coordinating their response, Marcus and Jasmine publicly reaffirmed their principles, clearly articulating the profound risks associated with aggressive tactics. Their message resonated widely, quickly counteracting divisive narratives. Privately afterward, Marcus reflected deeply, recognizing clearly the ongoing challenges accompanying their mission. Yet his resolve remained unwavering, understanding profoundly that genuine progress required courage, clarity, and consistent leadership. We won't let setbacks define our path, Marcus reassured Jasmine firmly. Our message remains clear. Unity through respectful dialogue is our greatest strength. Reinvigorated by their determination, Marcus continued tirelessly advocating peaceful resolution, understanding deeply their journey remained challenging, yet profoundly meaningful. He knew clearly their united leadership offered genuine hope, inspiring communities toward lasting change. Returning home later, Marcus sat quietly, deeply reflective yet confidently optimistic about their path ahead. The challenges remained evident, but Marcus felt profoundly certain their dedication to empathy, respect, and dialogue provided a powerful foundation for enduring peace. Their work was far from finished, but Marcus recognized clearly the transformative power inherent in their shared commitment, profoundly confident their message would continue inspiring meaningful change. Have you ever faced a conflict that seemed impossible to resolve? What did you do? Fight, flee, or try to find common ground like Colonel Evans? Share your experience in the comments below. If stories about courage, empathy, and dialogue resonate with you, join our community by subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you never miss another inspiring video. And if this message touched your heart, please leave a like and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. Several months after their transformative journey began, Colonel Marcus Evans stood on his porch, reflecting deeply as he watched the sun set over his peaceful farm. His relationship with Jasmine, Samuel, and the broader community had blossomed, turning former adversaries into respectful allies committed to ongoing dialogue and mutual understanding. Marcus had grown profoundly through these experiences, recognizing clearly that genuine leadership required more than strength. It demanded empathy, patience, and courage. He understood now, perhaps better than ever, the value of sincere dialogue and the power of shared purpose. One afternoon, Jasmine arrived unexpectedly, carrying an air of both excitement and urgency. Marcus welcomed her warmly, intrigued by her evident enthusiasm. "Colonel," Jasmine began earnestly, her voice tinged with emotion, "I received news from another community facing similar challenges. They've closely followed our journey, and our example inspired them to embrace dialogue rather than confrontation." Marcus listened attentively, deeply moved by her words. "That's remarkable, Jasmine. It shows our efforts here genuinely matter beyond our community." Jasmine nodded passionately. "It inspired me to think, what if we created something lasting? A foundation or program dedicated entirely to teaching conflict resolution, leadership, and community dialogue." Marcus absorbed the suggestion carefully, quickly recognizing its powerful potential. That could amplify our impact dramatically, guiding many others toward peaceful solutions. "Exactly," Jasmine affirmed enthusiastically. "Together, we can help communities transform conflicts into meaningful connections." Without hesitation, Marcus committed decisively. "Let's do it. Our experiences have proven that respect, dialogue, and understanding can truly transform lives." They quickly began shaping the vision, engaging Samuel and other community leaders to collaboratively establish clear goals and practical structures. Enthusiasm spread rapidly, with numerous community members contributing actively, inspired by the profound potential of their collective efforts. Months later, they officially launched the Unity Foundation, dedicated to training communities nationwide in peaceful conflict resolution, effective dialogue, and compassionate leadership. Their inaugural event attracted widespread attention, clearly demonstrating their message resonated deeply. Marcus stood confidently beside Jasmine, addressing an inspired audience. Our journey began with conflict, but evolved through respect, dialogue, and courage into something profoundly transformative, he articulated passionately. Now, we're committed to helping others achieve similar outcomes. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with communities across the nation reaching out eagerly for guidance. Marcus and Jasmine actively engaged, traveling frequently, sharing their powerful narrative openly, and providing practical tools for peaceful conflict resolution. Returning home after an especially impactful trip, Marcus felt deeply fulfilled, reflecting quietly on the incredible journey they'd undertaken. Jasmine expressed similar sentiments, clearly recognizing the profound significance of their collaboration. Marcus. Jasmine began thoughtfully, using his first name comfortably, reflecting their evolved partnership. Did you ever imagine our initial conflict would lead to something this meaningful? Marcus smiled sincerely, shaking his head slowly. Not at first, but now, it feels inevitable. Real growth often emerges from challenges, if we face them honestly and openly. Their foundation continued gaining momentum, significantly impacting numerous communities, inspiring real, lasting change. Marcus remained humble yet deeply proud, clearly understanding their journey wasn't just about resolving their conflict, it was about redefining leadership, unity, and community engagement. As he settled into his familiar chair one evening, Marcus profoundly appreciated the transformative power of their journey. He defended his land firmly, yet the real victory came through building lasting relationships, fostering understanding, and inspiring positive change. Looking ahead, Marcus felt deeply hopeful. Their story was far from over. It had merely evolved, opening new opportunities for dialogue, understanding, and lasting impact. 1 year after the creation of the Unity Foundation, Colonel Marcus Evans found himself deeply immersed in a life far different from the isolated tranquility he once cherished on his farm. His days were now filled with impactful dialogues, transformative workshops, and heartfelt interactions that continually reinforced the power of empathy and mutual respect. Yet Marcus still valued moments of quiet reflection, often returning to his porch, overlooking the land he had fiercely defended. These moments grounded him, reminding him clearly of the journey's difficult beginnings and remarkable evolution. One quiet afternoon, Jasmine and Samuel arrived together, their presence familiar and reassuring. Marcus greeted them warmly, sensing immediately the purpose behind their visit was significant. "Marcus," Samuel began respectfully, his tone warm yet earnest, "we've been contacted by an international group seeking guidance. Our foundation's impact has reached beyond national borders." Marcus absorbed the news thoughtfully, deeply moved by the profound implications. This truly demonstrates how universal our message is. People everywhere desire understanding and peace. Jasmine nodded eagerly. "They've invited us to lead a global conference on conflict resolution, highlighting our unique journey and methods. It could significantly amplify our influence." Marcus considered carefully, recognizing clearly the potential challenges and opportunities involved. After a brief pause, determination filled his voice. "Let's embrace this opportunity wholeheartedly. Our message deserves a global platform." Preparations began swiftly, with Marcus deeply involved in shaping their presentation to reflect authenticity, humility, and genuine compassion. The upcoming conference quickly became a source of excitement and profound responsibility. Arriving at the international event, Marcus felt both humbled and energized, clearly recognizing the significance of their invitation. Attendees represented diverse nations, backgrounds, and experiences, yet all shared a collective passion for peaceful conflict resolution. Marcus stood confidently beside Jasmine and Samuel, addressing the diverse audience clearly and sincerely. Our journey began with conflict, but evolved into profound understanding. Marcus shared thoughtfully, his voice steady and resonant. We learned that empathy, humility, and dialogue are the most powerful tools available for genuine change. Jasmine continued eloquently, detailing their experiences passionately, reinforcing the transformative power of genuine dialogue and mutual respect. Their presentation resonated profoundly, with attendees visibly moved, actively engaging afterward, expressing deep appreciation and seeking further guidance. Marcus interacted patiently, sharing insights openly and sincerely, deeply moved by the impact of their shared experiences. Returning home after the conference, Marcus felt profoundly fulfilled, yet humbly aware of the continued effort required. Jasmine and Samuel joined him on his porch, reflecting quietly on their remarkable journey. Marcus. Jasmine began softly, sincerity evident in her voice. Did you ever imagine your farm would become the birthplace of something so impactful? Marcus smiled gently, shaking his head in humble acknowledgement. Never. But now, I see clearly that challenges often carry hidden opportunities. Facing adversity with respect and courage can transform even the deepest conflicts. Samuel nodded appreciatively. This journey taught us leadership isn't just strength or authority, it's humility, empathy, and genuine dialogue. Marcus agreed profoundly, reflecting deeply on the significance of their experiences. He understood clearly their work was ongoing, yet felt confidently optimistic about their sustained impact. As evening settled softly over his farm, Marcus quietly contemplated the extraordinary journey he'd undertaken, from defending his land against activists to becoming a global advocate for peace and dialogue. His initial confrontation had profoundly reshaped not just his community, but his understanding of leadership, courage, and humanity itself. Marcus felt profoundly grateful for every challenge they'd faced, recognizing clearly that their experiences had shaped something deeply meaningful and far-reaching. Looking ahead, Marcus felt profoundly hopeful, committed fully to continuing this meaningful work. Their story had evolved beautifully, clearly demonstrating the transformative power of genuine respect, empathy, and courageous dialogue. 2 years after their initial confrontation, Colonel Marcus Evans found himself back on the familiar grounds of his farm, now transformed into a center of learning and peacebuilding. The Unity Foundation flourished, drawing visitors worldwide eager to learn about conflict resolution, empathy, and dialogue. One morning, Marcus welcomed a group of international delegates, each representing communities facing profound social and political tensions. Jasmine and Samuel stood confidently at his side, their partnership stronger and more impactful than ever. "Welcome to our farm," Marcus began warmly, addressing the diverse group sincerely. This place once represented conflict and division, but through courage and dialogue, it has become a symbol of hope and unity. Throughout the day, Marcus guided visitors through interactive workshops, openly sharing his experiences, failures, and successes. Jasmine and Samuel contributed passionately, highlighting the transformative power of humility, empathy, and genuine conversation. As the day progressed, Marcus noticed a delegate lingering thoughtfully at the edge of the group, appearing contemplative yet hesitant. Approaching gently, Marcus offered a warm, encouraging smile. "You seem deep in thought," Marcus observed kindly. "Anything you'd like to share?" The delegate, a young community leader named Amina, hesitated momentarily before responding earnestly. "Colonel Evans, your journey resonates deeply with me. My community faces intense conflicts. I came seeking answers, but now realize solutions require courage, patience, and dialogue, qualities you embody." Marcus felt profoundly moved by her sincerity, recognizing clearly the depth of her struggle. "I understand your uncertainty," he replied gently. "Conflict resolution is challenging, yet courageously embracing dialogue and empathy can genuinely transform situations." Encouraged by his compassion, Amina shared further, detailing complex issues affecting her community profoundly. Marcus listened attentively, offering thoughtful advice and practical guidance, clearly understanding the powerful potential of their shared conversation. Later, Marcus reflected quietly with Jasmine and Samuel, sharing Amina's profound impact. Her story reminded me clearly why our work matters deeply. Every conversation, every act of empathy profoundly influences lives. Jasmine nodded passionately, clearly agreeing. Our initial conflict now inspires others globally, demonstrating the incredible power of genuine dialogue and mutual respect. Marcus smiled gently, profoundly appreciative of their shared understanding. We transformed conflict into something meaningful, demonstrating clearly that adversity often carries profound opportunities for growth. Months later, Marcus received an emotional letter from Amina, detailing significant progress in her community. Inspired profoundly by their conversation, she'd successfully implemented dialogue-based initiatives, significantly reducing local tensions and fostering unity. Reading her heartfelt words, Marcus felt profound fulfillment, clearly understanding the far-reaching impact of genuine leadership. He shared Amina's letter eagerly with Jasmine and Samuel, reinforcing profoundly their shared commitment. Our journey continues impacting lives profoundly, Marcus reflected thoughtfully, deeply moved by Amina's success. We've genuinely proven dialogue and empathy can profoundly transform conflicts. Marcus dedicated himself further, traveling frequently, engaging openly with diverse communities worldwide. His experiences profoundly reshaped his perspectives, reinforcing clearly the universal desire for understanding, respect, and genuine connection. Returning home after extensive travels, Marcus felt profoundly grateful, yet humbly aware their work was ongoing. Jasmine joined him quietly on his porch, reflecting gently on their incredible journey. Marcus. Jasmine began thoughtfully, emotion evident in her voice. Our initial conflict profoundly transformed my life. I never imagined our relationship evolving into something this deeply impactful. Marcus smiled warmly, acknowledging her words gently. Neither did I, Jasmine. Yet now, I clearly see the true purpose behind our conflict. It prepared us profoundly for meaningful leadership, compassion, and positive change. As evening settled peacefully over his farm, Marcus quietly contemplated their transformative journey. The profound struggles he'd once faced had clearly shaped him into a compassionate, empathetic leader, deeply committed to dialogue and unity. Looking forward, Marcus felt profoundly hopeful, understanding clearly that their work continued resonating deeply with diverse communities worldwide, inspiring meaningful conversations, courageous leadership, and genuine unity. Their story had genuinely become an enduring testament to the incredible power of respect, empathy, and courageous dialogue. Do you believe it's possible to turn enemies into allies through genuine dialogue and empathy, just like Colonel Evans did? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If stories like this inspire you and remind you of the power of understanding, join our community by subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you'll never miss another meaningful story. And if this video resonated with you, please leave a like and share it with someone who might benefit from hearing this today. Several years after the initial confrontation transformed his life, Colonel Marcus Evans found himself once again standing quietly on his porch, looking out at the vast land that had become a profound symbol of peace, understanding, and dialogue. The Unity Foundation flourished, and Marcus's leadership continued to inspire communities around the globe. Today was special. A commemorative event marked the anniversary of the Foundation's inception, gathering influential leaders, past participants, and community members deeply impacted by Marcus's profound journey. As Marcus stepped forward to address the gathered crowd, a powerful sense of gratitude filled him. Jasmine and Samuel stood nearby, their expressions reflecting pride, unity, and profound appreciation. Today marks not merely an anniversary, Marcus began warmly, his voice steady and resonant, but a celebration of courage, dialogue, and empathy transforming conflict into meaningful change. Our initial confrontation could have divided us permanently. Instead, it became the catalyst for understanding and unity. Jasmine stepped forward, speaking eloquently to the attentive audience. Our story proves that even the most intense conflicts can become profound opportunities for growth and compassion if we choose dialogue and empathy. Marcus smiled gently, profoundly grateful for their evolved relationship. Together, we've demonstrated clearly that genuine leadership involves humility, patience, and an unwavering commitment to understanding. As the ceremony progressed, various individuals shared emotional testimonies, detailing how their own communities transformed profoundly through principles Marcus, Jasmine, and Samuel tirelessly promoted. Marcus listened intently, profoundly moved by the genuine gratitude, respect, and hope expressed repeatedly. Later, Marcus privately reflected with Jasmine and Samuel, recognizing profoundly the journey they'd undertaken together. "Did you ever imagine our difficult start leading here?" he asked gently, sincerity evident in his voice. Jasmine shook her head warmly, clearly moved. "Never. But now, our journey inspires countless others, demonstrating clearly the incredible power of respectful dialogue and genuine empathy." Samuel added thoughtfully, "This is true leadership, transforming conflicts into profound connections, fostering unity and genuine understanding." Marcus agreed sincerely, profoundly recognizing their shared impact. "Our initial conflict profoundly reshaped us, preparing us genuinely for this important mission." The event concluded emotionally, leaving Marcus deeply fulfilled yet profoundly aware of ongoing responsibilities. Guests departed inspired, carrying lessons of empathy, courage, and dialogue back into their communities, perpetuating Marcus's profound legacy. As evening fell gently over his peaceful farm, Marcus sat quietly reflecting on the remarkable journey, from fierce defender of his land against perceived threats to an influential advocate for peace and mutual respect. Each step profoundly shaped him, clearly demonstrating the transformative potential of empathy, humility, and dialogue. Marcus felt profound gratitude, profoundly aware of the impact their efforts generated worldwide. The challenges he'd faced, the conflicts he'd navigated, all profoundly reshaped his understanding of leadership, courage, and humanity itself. Looking toward the horizon, Marcus felt deeply hopeful. Though challenges would always exist, their foundation provided powerful tools and lasting lessons for navigating conflict constructively, respectfully, and empathetically. Marcus's journey clearly demonstrated the profound truth. Even in conflict, genuine leadership rooted in humility, empathy, and courageous dialogue holds the power to profoundly transform individuals, communities, and the world. He leaned back comfortably, profoundly content, understanding deeply his life's purpose was now clearly fulfilled through ongoing advocacy for unity, dialogue, and genuine empathy. Their story had become an enduring testament to the extraordinary power of courageously seeking understanding, mutual respect, and lasting peace. Do you believe dialogue and empathy have the power to transform even the toughest conflicts, just as Colonel Evans experienced? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To continue this journey of inspiration and receive a message that could profoundly impact your life, simply click on the video appearing on your screen right now. And if this story touched your heart, leave a like and comment, amen below, so you may continue to be blessed.